This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. Rutland Radio, nearly 5 to 8. We go live to Hollywood now. Yes, from Hambleton to Hollywood, it's Rutland Radio. And Claire Gregory, you are live at the Oscars.
That's right, I'm actually at the Vanity Fair after party now on the, I would say red carpet, but it's sort of black and white striped really. But yes, here I am, lucky me.
Now, we've been mentioning this morning how we actually had a winner who studied makeup at Stanford College, a local man, David Malinowski. You've just seen him.
Yeah, a local winner, that's right. He's just come through waving his Oscar, looking very pleased with himself, and obviously said it was great to work on the film, amazing working with Gary Oldman, and anyone who's seen that will know what an incredible transformation it is to make Gary Oldman, who won the Best Actor prize, I should say, into Winston Churchill. So a great effort by him and a thoroughly well-deserved win.
Now, I've heard the shortest speech was just over 30 seconds. Do you know what the longest was?
I don't actually, but I wonder if it would have been one of the latter ones. Perhaps Frances McDormand. It was an incredibly rousing speech that she did. She had all the female nominees stand up and kind of celebrate one another, and the whole room celebrated them. So hers might have been on the longer side. I think they managed to keep everyone else's quite short, you know.
But what a ceremony it is, and what an accolade, really, for anyone who's got an Oscar. Wonderful, as you say, to get a local winner for our area as well. But Gary Oldman, he thanked his mum, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He said she's 99, which is just incredible. The idea that she was sat on the sofa, he said, watching the ceremony, which I think is probably the best place to watch it from when you're 99. But he said that she was going to put the kettle on for him afterwards. So we're yet to see Gary Oldman. We're hoping that he's going to come through Vanity Fair shortly and show us his Oscar, but we'll have to wait and see on that one.
So we've had snow back home in Stamford and Rutland. What about the weather in West Hollywood?
Well, do you know what? I'm glad to be out of the snow, but it was raining for a couple of days, and I think organisers got a bit worried that actually the rain was going to cause problems. So over the red carpet, there's huge amounts of plastic, and they went to all sorts of lengths, but then the sun did shine today. It was a really nice day, so they got away with it.
Claire, thanks very much for joining us live from Hollywood this morning. Hopefully we can get a word with David. That's what I've asked you, if you can.
Yeah, I'm on the case, and we're going to we'll send over some we'll get him to talk to you as soon as we can, basically.
Claire Gregory, thanks very much for joining us.
Rutland Radio.
Hold it up, let's have a look.
Do you have a hold?
Oh, I'd love to have a hold. Hold on a second.
It's heavy.
They really are, aren't they? I think I suit one, definitely. So do you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Is it as you imagined it would be?
Winning it or this?
Both.
It just messes with your mind, really. You know, when they tear that envelope open and you just hear the words and the Oscar goes to, it just seems like forever almost when they say the name and then they say it, and you're just the relief, the excitement, just everything. You know, all those hours in the makeup chair and early mornings, late nights. It's just fantastic. And Gary won Best Actor, so he's the icing on the cake, I guess.
It's the stuff that dreams are made of.
It is, yeah. I mean, look at it. I just can't believe it.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
So, as it's International Women's Day today, I thought that we'd have a nice chat with Emma Baker, because you're a pageant girl, but you're not the stereotypical type of pageant girl, are you?
No, I'm not. It's a little bit different.
So can you tell me about your pageant?
Yeah, my pageant is called Miss British Beauty Curve 2018, and it's to promote confidence and empowerment to women that are a larger size, who feel that they haven't got the confidence that they need to be able to enter something like this, and to be proud of their bodies and how they feel in themselves. It should come out on the outside. It gives us more confidence and makes us happier in ourselves as well.
I think it's a lot more prominent these days,
Yes.
that we've got so many, women that are all shapes and sizes, that are all beautiful, and they're breaking down the stereotypical vision of beauty, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the trouble is it's social media, magazines, everything says that you have to be skinny, you have to be thin to be beautiful. All the shops are advertising women in skinny clothes, and it's about time really that normal women of a larger size stood out and said, hey, you know what, I can wear this. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I'm comfortable, I'm confident, and that's all that matters.
So how did you get into the pageant then?
It was by accident, actually. I do Instagram. So on Instagram, I had a few people nominate me and put me forward for the pageant. They obviously got in touch and asked me to send in some photos and some screenshots, which I did. And then I received an email asking me if I wanted to be a finalist and represent my town for Bourne. So yeah, so it was quite fast. It happened really fast and really unexpected. But yeah, I was really pleased and over the moon.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of work do you have to do for a pageant? Because I've spoken to other pageant girls in the past, and some people might think it's just standing there and looking pretty, but there's a lot of hard work behind it.
A lot of hard work. It's a lot of interviews, photo shoots, appearances. This year I'm going to be Deeping Carnival Queen. I've been asked to do that. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be turning on the Deeping Christmas lights as well, doing the Duck Fest. And I'm also getting involved with Tulip Festival in Spalding this year as well. We're going to be doing something with little girls to make them into princesses and things like that. So it's all about getting out there and getting to know people as well. Which is great for me because I love meeting people, and I'm a mum to 4, so I'm stuck at home most of the time anyway. So I think it's just really important that I get out and like I say, it's hard work, but I love it, and that's the main thing. So it's when you do something you enjoy, I think it makes it all that better for yourself as well.
Yeah, and is there any charity work that goes along with this?
Yes, I can raise money for charities if I wish to. I'm still trying to decide on a charity, unfortunately. I can't say whether I want it like a local charity or a big charity, but obviously I want it to be something to do with mental health, because obviously I've had a breakdown in the past, and it's taken me a long while to get where I am today, and which is where the weight gain comes from. So I think it's important that I do something to do with that, probably mind or something like that, to help women and men as well with mental health issues.
You've got until August, haven't you? That's the final, so you've got until then to do all of your work. And what happens at the final when it comes to August? What will you be doing?
It's a long day of rehearsals, and we have to learn dance routine as well. Obviously meet all the other pageant girls who actually got to know online at the moment. The community is just so friendly and amazing. It's incredible. Everyone is bigging you up all the while instead of putting you down, so I'm really looking forward to meeting them. And then there's 3 categories in the pageant. So there's Miss, Mrs. and Ms. Obviously I'm in the Ms category because unfortunately I'm over 30. And we have to go on stage in either a red, white or blue dress to start with our sashes, and then we'll have swimwear, glitz and glam, and ball gowns to wear as well. And it will be a case of just walking along the stage, and the judges will obviously judge us on our appearance, our posture, everything to do with it. All our confidence really is what's important in this.
Yeah, so what do you think is most important about this pageant?
I think it's to get the message out that it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, the colour of your skin. Nothing matters. What matters is that you're happy on the inside, and it's all about bringing that out to show on the outside. At the end of the day, everybody's different. If we all look the same, it would be boring. You know, no one's going to love you any less because you're fat or you're thin or you're big or you're... It doesn't make no difference, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change who you are inside. And I think that's the most important message.
And have you got any events coming up for people to support? Because with these pageants, it's with pageants, it's judges, isn't it? So
yes.
It's not like the public vote.
No.
But can people support you in any way?
They can. I mean, I'm looking to get involved in any kind of charity events that are going on, fashion shows. Like I said, I'm doing Tulip Festival and I'm doing Deeping Carnival, so you know people can come along and support them, which would be absolutely fantastic. We're doing photo shoots as well with little girls and princess makeovers and stuff like that. But I am on Facebook and Instagram, so people can follow me, get in touch as well. And if you know any charitable donations would be great, and I think we're going to make them towards Mind, so that would be great.
So for girls or women that want to be involved in this, if they think that it would really help their confidence and help other people as well, then how do they get involved?
There is a website they can go to. It's missbritishbeautycurve.com. You can go on there, and there's 3 different categories. So you know, you can have a look and see which category suits you and to your needs, and get in touch with them. They're so friendly, everyone's so lovely, and I say a lot of it's on Facebook and Instagram as well, so if you just type it at the top, you should be able to just find it really easily.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Thank you, Lydia. I'm here with Matthew O'Callaghan, who's one of a team of 3 that put this whole thing together. We're right by all the cups here. They're about to be presented this afternoon, and it's a staggering amount of entries, nearly 1,000 pies that have been judged today.
That's right, 963 to be precise, and from 180 pie makers right across the country, from Inverness down to Cornwall to North Wales, right across the country, pie makers large and small, putting their pies here into Melton and to see which one is going to be crowned Supreme Champion, or as we call them, the Pie of Pies.
It's quite a young event, really. How did you actually get to spread the word over such a wide area?
It's 10 years. We know pie makers. So
that's as simple as that.
If you know pie makers, then you just ring them up and say, by the way, we're organising a pie awards. Why not? And interestingly, there's the butchers and there's the bakers. And the butchers say, oh no, we make the best pies, what goes in it. And the bakers say, oh no, we make the best pies for what goes around it. So it's always that's a little bit of needle as to who, will produce the best pies. And I have to say, we have a strong Scottish contingent as well. And something like a quarter of our pies might well be from Scotland. So yeah, it's right across the country.
But also there are a lot of local producers who come here, from farms to butchers.
Yeah. In fact, we've got a number of people in the Melton and Rutland area. I can think of Eat Square and people like that, the Rutland Pie Company, who are local to us and produce cracking pies, I have to say. And so it's good to see them entering this competition and up against the biggest and best of the UK.
And well over 100 judges, and each has their own category.
Yes, we divide the judges, we pair them into two, and then we divide them across the classes. So I think it was something like 140 judges this year to cope with the additional pies. And they chomp their way through their quota of pies and come to agreement or disagreement, as the case may be. And we usually pair an expert with an amateur. And then one will then sort of, put the professional point of view, and the other says, well, I don't care what you say, but I think it's cracking pie. I'd eat it and I'd buy it. It's
an amazing ceremony and an amazing event, and what surroundings as well. Of course, St Mary's Church over the last year has undergone this huge investment.
It has, 1.3 million, and it really is a beautiful church, modelled on the design of a cathedral, one of only 2 parish churches in the country, and really it's a cathedral of pies. The restoration project is absolutely fantastic, and just for seeing the church and the stained glass windows and whatever, it's supposed to be one of the finest churches in the country, certainly in the East Midlands, and well worth a day out just to visit this church.
British Pie Awards, always around this time of year each year?
Well, yes, because it's British Pie Week, and so we are the centrepiece of British Pie Week. Everybody sort of looks forward, and all the pie makers get ready and excited, and British Pie Week coming up, buy our pies and whatever. But then, of course, they know British Pie Week means British Pie Awards.
Matthew O'Callaghan, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
Rutland Radio.
Okay, well, my name's Steph Douglas, and I'm the Community Safety Manager for Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service.
Now, this Saturday, you're washing cars again for the Firefighters Charity. I know that's something that you do every so often, but the charity itself actually has a special anniversary this year.
Absolutely. The Firefighters Charity's been around for 75 years this year. It's a fantastic organisation that supports serving firefighters and retired firefighters and the families of those people as well. It helps them rehabilitate from injury, it supports them psychologically, it gives respite care, it gives recuperation care. It's an unbelievable organisation that holds all of us in its hands and is supported entirely by people coming to the car wash, people donating to the charity, and through firefighters doing fundraising in their own time, because it's not supported by the government, it's entirely funded by the generosity of the members of the public.
You yourself were helped by the organisation?
Yeah, myself, I've been helped twice. My wife, she used to be a firefighter as well. She's been helped through rehabilitation. I've been injured a few times, both in the line of duty but also through just day-to-day living, really. And yeah, just last year I was up at Jubilee House, which is up in Penrith in the Lake District, which is just a beautiful part of the country, and that does help after a knee reconstruction. And the quality of care, the knowledge of the staff up there is world-class. Because of the generosity of people supporting the charity, it's free. It's one less thing you need to worry about when you're trying to get fit and trying to get back to work. It's something else you don't need to worry about, which I'm eternally grateful for.
So they gave you, not only a change of scenery, but actually people to help you actually get back on the road to recovery.
You get advice and guidance and support, both from to look after your mental state, to give you advice on diet, to give you advice on exercise. They have physiotherapists there that are incredibly experienced, incredibly knowledgeable, and the diverse nature of that therapy is second to none. I've never seen anything like it. We are so lucky.
And this is all through the Firefighters Charity. I suppose people People are very aware of what the fire service do day to day, in that they see the trucks racing around when there's an emergency, but they probably don't appreciate quite the physicality of the job and the harrowing scenes that actually you're exposed to sometimes.
Without a doubt, it's we are incredibly visible, and we've had a very visible incident that's just happened last week, and we've been very grateful for some of the feedback that we've got from that, but it always comes at a cost.
You're talking about what happened in Leicester, of course, at the shop there, yeah. And
when you do the job that we do, it's incredibly demanding on your body, but it's also incredibly demanding on your mind as well. And we have, within the service, we have support arrangements, but also what the Firefighters Charity offers for us, and for families, and for worst case scenario for widows or widowers of firefighters killed, then it's invaluable, and we're very, very grateful. So we urge you, if you can, and your car needs a wash, come down on the 10th. Come down. It's between 10 and 4. You'll get an excellent service. You'll get a fantastic cleaning job done in your car, and you'll be able to support this worthwhile cause.
And is there a particular donation, or just whatever people would like to give?
It's whatever people would like to give. I mean, we're offering the car wash, but we've got one of our fantastic friends down at Oakham Fire Station is a lady called Margaret, who bakes us every week. She bakes us the most amazing cakes, and she's running a cake stall where she'll be selling some of, and trust me, they are fantastic cakes. She'll be selling some of her cakes, and all that money, she's so generously baking them, and all that money's going to the Firefighters Charity as well.
That's from 10 this Saturday morning, right the way through the afternoon, through until 4.
Till 4 o'clock, absolutely. But don't worry, we're not going to turn you away at 4 o'clock if you're waiting. We want the business, and we want you, and we value your support.
That's all in support of the Firefighters Charity. It's this Saturday at Oakham Fire Station, which is on South Street. And Steph Douglas, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio.
No problem, Rob.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
It's not a daunting prospect. I came back from travelling when I was about 31. So I was looking for volunteer positions. I've always had volunteer positions in one way or another. I really believe in giving your time, because it's the most precious thing that you can give back to your community and to society. So when I was doing my research about various sort of volunteering positions that were recruiting, the magistracy was one of those.
So do you preside over cases? Is that how it works?
Yes, that's right. We've got lots of different sort of roles that we do. The cases vary. You may be sentencing someone, you may be sitting on a trial, maybe a full-day trial, maybe a 3-day trial. You may be just managing a trial, transferring it up to the Crown Court. So there's various cases that include criminal cases as well as domestic violence cases as well.
So do you need legal qualifications to do this?
No. To everyone's surprise, you don't need to be legally trained or legally qualified. You just have to have the very basics. You have to fit in within an age range of 18 to 65. You have to be of good character and have good judgment, and just be responsible and organised. And that's it. All the training's provided, as well as ongoing training as well. So it's a very supported sort of role.
Now, we don't hold court in Rutland anymore, apart from once every 2 years at Oakham Castle, but I presume most of your work is at Loughborough, Leicester?
That's right. So a lot of the smaller courts did close down. So a lot of the sittings do take place in Leicester and Loughborough.
And it's a minimum of 13 days commitment a year?
That's right. But in the first year, I would suggest that you do commit to about 26 days, and that would include your training as well, because there's quite a lot of training in your first year. But apart from that, the minimum requirement is 13 full days.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. So the new 3G pitch has been launched at English Martyrs School. I'm here with 5 of the sports leaders. So your names are?
William, Harvey, Freddie, Madison, Lauren.
And your teacher?
Miss Wilkinson.
Now, you're the PE coordinator here. Why would a 3G pitch be necessary for a primary school? Because you've got lovely green fields there.
Yeah, we have, but unfortunately in the winter, obviously the field isn't the most convenient thing to be on with the mud, so we thought having an AstroTurf just gives them a lot more opportunities in the winter. In the summer we've got more space, and at playtimes as well it means we can split our children off and have more zoned areas for playtimes.
And is it quite unusual for a primary school to have this? The first I've heard of.
It is very unusual, but at English Martyrs we are very proud of our sport and we put a lot of effort in. We are currently first in the Small Schools League and first in the Big League of Rutland, so we want our children to be able to access as many facilities as they can.
And where did the money come from and how much was it?
It was about £23,000. We were lucky enough to receive £10,000 from the lottery fund. We received a donation from Rutland Plastics, and then a lot of the funding has come mainly from parents. We've done lots of fundraising activities, and our FEM, which is our Friends of English Martyrs, have done a lot of fundraising for us.
That's a huge amount of money, isn't it? £23,000. Are you just waiting to get started on this then, you lot?
Yeah.
So what does it feel like already being on it?
Epic.
It's kind of springy, isn't it, compared to grass? So what sort of sports do you enjoy doing here at school?
Football.
We have a lot of football fans, and it's just like a good honour for a small school to have a big thing like this.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
Rutland Radio, good morning.
Hi, I've had an email saying I've won a message from Mum.
You must be Kelly Easton.
I am Kelly Easton.
Well done.
I had no idea I was even entering anything.
Did you not?
No, not a clue.
What, someone put your name down?
No, I just sent the email because I knew it was Mother's Day and I just wanted to do something nice for my mum. It was just one of those things.
So how was her day then over the weekend? Did you manage to treat her as well?
She was busy as usual, helping everybody out as usual. That's what she does.
Well, at least it's nice to give something back to someone who gives so much to so many.
Exactly.
So how does she help everyone out then?
Any way she can. I mean, yesterday she was helping me pick up some slabs from a friend in Corby.
She was lifting slabs?
Yes, she was. She was lifting slabs yesterday.
Can I ask how old your mum is?
My mum is 58. She's 58 this year, yeah.
Lifting slabs into the car for you?
Yeah.
On Mothering Sunday?
I know.
How lovely is that?
She's amazing.
Well, she's got 5 fantastic prizes to enjoy, and no doubt she'll need someone to take with her, so you may well be involved in that as well.
I may be, yes.
Well done for winning.
Thank you very much.
Rutland Radio.
So I'm here at Uppingham C of E. If I can have your first names, please.
Esme. Charlotte.
Daniel. Violet. Thomas.
Elise.
Now, you're some of the reading champions at the school here. What do you have to do to be a reading champion?
Read a lot. Make sure you can read good books and understand the words.
And do you help others read as well?
Yes, we have guided reading, and we have to help the other people on our tables.
So what are your favourite books and authors then?
Mine is Julia Donaldson's books. Julia Donaldson's books.
J.K. Rowling. Enid Blyton.
David Williams.
Roald Dahl.
David Williams.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Now, March is Cancer Awareness Month, so we're looking at the different cancer care and support groups in Stamford and Rutland. This week, it's all about hollyhocks.
I'm Kirsty Vipond and I run Hollyhocks Cancer Support Group in Stamford. Hollyhocks is now into its 3rd year and is proud to have been a source of friendship and support to those living with and recovering from cancer. The group is every second Thursday of the month between 10 and 12, and we're open at Ketton Sports and Community Centre. The group's open to anyone affected by cancer, whatever stage of their journey or type of cancer. And again, we're open to carers, partners, relatives. Being diagnosed with cancer, or someone you care about being diagnosed with cancer, brings a whole host of emotions, feelings of anger, despair, fear and lack of control. But being in contact with others at a peer support group such as Hollyhocks, it can really help people share those concerns and fears and information, and that is really empowering for carers and patients. Our therapists are amazing. Again, they're volunteers. Can't thank them enough for their time, but they make a considerable difference to the clients that we have at Hollyhocks.
So as Kirsty said, Hollyhocks meet every second Thursday of the month at Ketton Sports Centre between 10 and 12 if you would like to go along. or for more information, you can email Kirsty on hollyhocksgroup@gmail.com.
Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio. I'm Rob Pisani, talking this morning about the Phoebe Research Fund and also a project that the fund is involved with and will benefit from, which is something of a first for Stamford. With me this morning, Zoe Crowson and Stephen Arnold. Now, Zoe, first off, congratulations on your milestone with the charity, £100,000. That's going to make quite a difference.
It will. It will make a huge difference with the money going to the right place. We had a really successful meeting the other day about gene editing and everything else, and it's a really exciting time for not just Phoebe but other RDEB sufferers, so it all goes to a great cause.
And this project in October, you'll get a quarter of all the proceeds.
Absolutely. It's something myself and Stephen have set up. We're pledging that basically every project we do together in this way, that a big percentage goes to Phoebe Research. Obviously it's very close to my heart and now Stephen, so it's incredibly important.
So Kes, I mean, this is a classic film, isn't it? You know, in the top 10 for so many, and so many have probably seen it at school. I remember seeing it, and all about this little boy who cares for the falcon and how it changes his life.
Yeah, I think that's why we chose to play. It's such an iconic film. It was a great Ken Loach movie, and it's a part that I fell in love with the film when I first watched it years ago, and it's a play I've always wanted to be involved in. It's a play that everybody knows, Robin. It's a film that everybody knows. So, and it's a fantastic adaptation on stage. It's a two-man show. Basically, a man arrives on stage and he ends up in the old house where they used to live in Barnsley, and he sees his life go through with a young Billy Casper, and it's an imaginative play. It's poetical. But it's passionate. It's got soul to it. It's just got everything that you need. When you come to theatre, and as an actor, playing 8 different characters, it's phenomenal. And to also involve Phoebe Research in it, I'm an actor, Zoe runs a charity, and we just thought it was a new exciting way of bringing awareness to the charity and doing something I love, and we can raise awareness with it too.
Playing 8 different characters.
Yeah.
That's quite an undertaking. Is that the biggest range of people you've played on stage ever?
I've done 8 before. I did Chaplin and I did 8 characters in that, but I think with this one it's more difficult because the play was set in Barnsley. I think 6 of the characters can be quite similar, so you've got to make the physicalities different, and whether it's putting on a hat or an apron or putting on lipstick for the mum, whatever it is. I think that's the most challenging part for me. It's showing the audience that you are this different character now, and you've got to keep the accent, but you've got to give it something different, which comes in the physicality of the play, which is something that I've never done before. That's going to be a fantastic challenge for me. It's going to be so rewarding if you do a good job and the audience like it, and we do get a good audience and good support system, for Phoebe Research too.
And the age range that it's suitable for. I remember watching the film at school. I mean, it's a bit near the knuckle from what I remember.
It is. I mean, the play's not like that. The play's, there's elements of the film in there, but it's very different. There's elements, like I say, of the film coming in, but it's for all ages, really. Everyone's welcome. There's no bad language in it as such or anything like that. I think it's a must-see for all, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring a straight play to Stamford, that's what the Corn Exchange wanted to do as well, and obviously it's 10 years at the Corn Exchange they're celebrating this year, so it all ties in lovely. You've got the celebration of the 10 years of the Corn Exchange, Phoebe Research, and it's just a remarkable story that we're going to put out there, and hopefully people will come along and support it. Local businesses are supporting it, and we just need bums on seats and people to come along and have a fantastic evening.
Now, Zoe, we're talking about this really quite early in that it's in the autumn. It's the 26th and 27th of October it's going to be taking place.
Yeah, the reason being is we're asking all the local businesses, especially to get on board as much as possible. We're looking for sponsorship of the programme in particular. And what me and Stephen will do is actually go out to the businesses, promote them on social media, which is obviously the new thing, and via the press and radio as much as possible. We've already got some amazing sponsors on board, such as Mercedes-Benz in Peterborough. We've got the Williams Cecil. We've got a lot of independent shops in Stamford. And what we're doing is, before the first show, we're actually having a bit of a networking event as well for the sponsors to meet like-minded people, and obviously a chance to meet the local media as well that they might not necessarily encounter, promote themselves as best as possible. And it's like the Country Lounge in Wansford. Not everybody knows that Bradley's there yet, and the Paper Mill, Steve Evans has just taken over that pub. And so it's a case of, as we always do, really working alongside local businesses to make sure that everyone's kind of cross-pollinated and works as well together as possible, because I do get an awful lot of local support. And without those individuals, there's just no way we would have raised that kind of outstanding amount of money. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to pounds and pence. I always say the same thing. It makes a massive difference research terms, and it's quite an exciting time where developments are really happening in leaps and bounds, and every penny does count. But also it's a chance to get involved in something very exciting as well for the local community, and not just a fundraiser, but something people can actually attend and come away, hopefully, especially with Stephen on board, and come away and think what a fantastic play that was.
So people could book tickets now via the Corn Exchange, or get in touch with you if they'd like to maybe support it and sponsor it in some other way.
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking for as many local sponsors as possible, and people can book online. You've just got to go to www.stamfordcornexchange.co.uk. They're selling tickets actively at the moment. I think they're going quite well as it stands.
Yeah.
So, if anybody's out there and wants to, support us.
There's 3 shows. We're doing a matinee on the Saturday at 2:30, and there's a 7:30 show, and that's on the Saturday, and on the Friday there's a 7:30 show. So there's only 3 shows. So if people want to book it as soon as possible, and look forward to seeing them there, and I hope they enjoy it.
Stephen Arnold and Zoe Crowson, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. Lovely to catch up with you both, and well, very best of luck with that. And I guess we'll probably talk between now and then on how the charity's going, as often we do.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Rob.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Thank you, Lydia. Well, I'm speaking to you from Broad Street. The official opening took place at 6 o'clock this evening. The Mayor of Stamford, Councillor Tony Story, read the proclamation. I'm here with Chairman of the Showman's Guild, William Percival. Now, not the best of weather, but it's still pretty busy actually here tonight.
I know it's a bit damp, but it's not cold, is it? It's not that cold. It's a bit fresh, but we usually get a couple of wet days at Stamford Fair anyway, so let's get them out the way.
And just remind us of how significant this is. I mean, it's one of the oldest charter fairs in the whole country.
It's very important to the showman. Where our waltzer stands at the top of Broad Street, we've had equipment on there since 1902. So we've been here quite a long time, and as you know, the fair goes back even a lot longer than that. And I think for the turnout of people that was here yesterday watching us set up, even the people of Stamford love the fair, And
it is that, isn't it? It's the majesty of the setting up the week before, the 2 days before. How's the meadows actually this year? Because obviously we've had so much rain and snow.
Well, there's nothing on the meadows this year, as you can appreciate. It's too wet.
But so much around town.
Well,
we're
that's
right in the thick of it here.
Yeah, we've had to move. Well, we haven't had to move them. We've placed more caravans down the cattle market because the wreck's even too wet. After that snow last week, it's going to take a lot of drying out, I think.
But the show must go on as always.
Well, that's the beauty about the street fair. As long as if it stops raining, it'll be dry in 2 minutes, and like you said, the show goes on.
Lovely to see you again. Have a great week.
Thank you very much.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
At Ketton with some of the C of E school children who are, what are your first names?
Claudia, Sophie, Luca, Harry, Isla.
And tell us about the Lent lunch, what you understand, how it works.
It's for Jesus in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights.
So have any of you given anything up for Lent?
I gave up trying not to drive my quad bike because I've got one and I drive it a bit too fast.
So it was just kind of giving up something that was kind of fun, just for a while.
I gave up chocolate.
Oh, isn't that the toughest one?
I broke it the next day.
Oh, it is the toughest one, definitely. Not too long until, obviously, Easter, so you know what that means, don't you?
Eggs.
Yeah. And what are they generally made of?
Chocolate, but I'm not getting any of my dad's because I'm getting Ark Survivor involved.
instead of eggs.
You're getting what?
Ark Survival Evolved, it's a video game which I adore. Squid plays it. I've seen loads of YouTubers play it and I love it.
That sounds like you'd get a lot of Easter eggs if you decided not to get that for the same money.
Yeah, well, it's £50.
He's very generous, your dad, isn't he?
He can be, yeah.
Yeah. If he's listening now, he'll think you're the best son ever.
Yeah.
If I say that. Yeah? How is this for you in terms of coming out of school for one Monday? Do you get, randomly selected? Is that how it works?
Well, it's kind of like lolly sticks, and you put your name in if you want to come. Yeah. So we got picked out.
Yeah, I was really happy.
And how was the food?
It's
delicious.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Really good. Amazing. I had seconds.
Yeah, I did as well.
Rutland Radio.
Who has a favourite author or favourite book? What is it?
Tom Gates and the author Liz Pitchon.
And why do you like that one?
Because it's full of good stuff and there are surprises in it.
What's your favourite?
Rick Cordian, because I really like his books because they're full of adventure and excitement.
Matilda by Roald Dahl.
And why do you like that one?
Because it's funny and I really, really like it.
What book do you like?
Demon Dentist by David Walliams.
And what is it about David Walliams' books that's really good?
He's done quite a lot and they're really good to read.
What's your favourite?
The World's Worst Children by David Walliams.
And why is it that his books are really good? Because a lot of children seem to like him.
They're just really exciting.
I like Julia Donaldson books because they're just really good.
And what's been the best thing about World Book Day for you?
Dressing up.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
So I'm with Steve at Leeson's Butchers and you've just won. One of your pies was one of the winners recently at the British Pie Awards, so can you tell me all about it?
Yeah, it was a Melton Mowbray hand-raised pork pie and it won the competition.
What's so special about this pie then?
It's just nice peppery and nice crispy pastry. I only put that one in.
Really?
Yeah, just in the Melton Mowbray class.
And it went and won?
Yeah.
How does it work then? Can you talk me through the process of the day? Because it's quite an unusual sort of award.
There's the producers of the Melton Mowbray Pork Pie Association. They go into a competition and then they just pick out the winner. The judges pick out the winner.
But you were too busy to get over there because you were hands on the ground over here, too busy to get over there.
Yeah, I was well annoyed. I just couldn't get there.
But at least you won it and you can bring the cup home and... Oh yeah, the cup's over here, it's in the window.
Yeah, I've got my wife went and fetched it this morning.
So everyone can see it in the window. And he's changed the banner as well.
I've got a new one being made.
Rutland Radio.
Anya Vichkovsky, Osprey Project Officer.
Exciting. 5 days before she has before. You've got the first Osprey back.
Yeah, it's really exciting. This is actually the earliest we've ever had an Osprey back in Rutland, so we're super excited about that.
Tell us about Maya. She's quite familiar to a lot of people who come down to the reserve.
Yeah, so Maya's been breeding here for quite a few years now. She's had a couple of different mates. She's been with her last male for about 4 years now, which is 3311. And we're really hoping to see his return in the next couple of days and hopefully they'll have another successful breeding season.
Does it tend to work like that? Does the male tend to follow the female back? In the days of Mr. Rutland, he used to come back first.
Yeah, most of the time the males will come back first, but Maya seems to be breaking the tradition.
And about how many birds are you expecting once they're all back, and what sort of period will that be?
Last year we had 8 breeding pairs, so we're hoping, fingers crossed, we'll have at least all of them back. And we might even have some of the young from 2 years ago come back, so that'll be really exciting to see how many new birds come back as well.
It's a massively long journey, isn't it, all the way from Senegal? How long does it take them actually to come all the way back to Rutland?
Surprisingly, they do it really quickly. Today I had the tracking data come in from our GPS tagged Osprey. In one day she can travel over 300 kilometres, so they can do it incredibly quickly. And a lot of our Ospreys will come back at different times. On average it probably takes them about 2 weeks.
Now, people can see them obviously on your website, but how fantastic to look out over the water as we are at the moment. When can people do that and from where?
Our Linden Visitor Centre is now open for the season. We're open 9 till 5 every single day, and we have ospreys down in our Wader Scrape hide, so anyone can come down and they can look through the scopes and see the ospreys.
What are we hearing in the background? Have you any idea what kind of birds are up in the trees at the moment that we can hear just There's obviously a plane just about to come past as well. But
We have lots of birds around here, so there's not many of the water birds that I can hear at the minute. There's some blue tits and some great tits. We haven't had many of the chiff-chaff singing yet, but they should be singing in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's a really exciting time on the reserve.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Well, first of all, if you can give me your name and who you're representing.
I'm Sarah McConnell, and we are Archie's Angels.
Tell us how Archie's Angels was formed. I mean, this is a very personal experience to you.
Our first child, he was born prematurely at 31 weeks on holiday in Scotland. Sadly, at 6 weeks old, he passed away. We've been fundraising ever since just to keep ourselves busy. But in August last year, we decided to make our own charity in Archie's Angels. We provide Peterborough with support. We make little packages for the parents because it's so hard to get clothes that small, and the last thing you want to do is go out shopping when you want to spend time with your baby. We also fundraise for any bits and bobs that the hospital might need.
So these boxes have little clothes for tiny babies,
Yeah.
what that maybe weigh 2, 3, 4 pounds.
We provide from £3 onwards because really anything from £2 they wouldn't really wear clothes.
Have you managed to meet the parents who are actually receiving these things?
Yeah, I've met a few. That was really nice. Unfortunately, I met one that had lost children as well, so I could really relate to that because it's a tough time in there, you know.
So if people are listening at the moment and they'd like to actually help put these boxes together, how do they do that? Would they give you money for you to buy stuff, or would they be able to source them? Or?
I mean, donations are always welcomed. We do like knitted items, simple things like micro nappies, little cuddly toys. The way I see it is my other two kids, they get Christmas presents from us and he doesn't get anything. So this is what me and my husband Phil do for him. You know, this is his presents.
Rutland Radio.
Just give me your first name and what year you're in and also what you're working on.
I'm Owen and I'm in year 10 and I'm working on the sports section of the news, and we are reviewing the new junior park run, which is opening very soon. I think it's April time or something. And it's going to be 2 kilometres rather than the 5k, and it's open for 4 to 14-year-olds.
And you've done BBC School News Report for a few years now.
I've done it since year 7. It was sort of by fluke I did it in year 7. I just really, really enjoyed it.
Last year you were on TV.
Yeah, I was BBC Breakfast, live to 2 million people. That's come from doing this, and it's such an amazing opportunity. I couldn't thank the teachers enough.
Did you have to go down to do it, or did you do it?
We had to go to Birmingham, the NEC, and it was a very early morning, so I was very tired when I got back to school, but it was an amazing day.
I'm Tom and I'm working on children's mental health.
Do you think that's quite a hot topic for people these days, particularly of your age?
I think so, because it's one of those things that we didn't really know about.
And do you feel supported at college on that side of things?
Yeah, I know that client services definitely a very supportive part of the college. Students can go there and, you know, they can just have a chat. Some people I know with mental health problems have allocated times or something, or if they just feel sad, they ask, can I go downstairs and talk to the ladies in client services.
Hi, I'm Loon, and I'm filming for the Poppy Project, and there's about 10,000 poppies being made right now, and we're asking people their importance and filming them, saying what they think. I've actually loved doing this because people's opinions and news are just like really important in life.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Sebastian Vince, Emmaus companion at Hinckley, Leicestershire, Emmaus. My role is I do different jobs throughout the week. I might work on the van one day, might be cooking another day, might be cleaning another day, so it gives me real variety to the work. And it's just helping out wherever needs helping out day to day. So yeah, and every companion's the same. We just help out as like a community wherever we need to work.
So can you tell me a bit more about Emmaus, please?
All right, it's an ex-homeless charity that started off in France by a French priest, and that eventually came all through Europe to different countries. The first one in England was 25 years ago in Cambridge, and it just gives people a room and a job and gives them a reason to get out of bed. And we all work on a support package and all work together as like a part of a community, doing all different sort of jobs. The work we do is people donate their unwanted furniture and we fix it up and sell it off in our furniture shops around the country.
And the closest one for Leicestershire and Rutland would be Hinckley.
Hinckley will be the closest one, and then Melton Mowbray after that.
And so say if somebody wants to return to Emmaus, then what do they do?
They can do a self-referral. So you can look online, or you can phone up, or you can refer yourself, or you can be referred by other agencies, probation, etc. like that. But yeah, you can refer yourself, just phone up, and when there's a room available, they have an interview, and then they come in if you're suitable, accept you to work there and live there.
And why do you think the charity is very important?
It's very important because I believe that no one should be homeless in the world, especially in this country, and it just gives people a house, and gives people a room. Unlike other hostels, it gives you a job as well. So when you go in there, you get all your everything you need back in life. You get your room, you get your food, your shelter, a community, and you get a job to do full-time hours every day.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
It's Alex Mitchell.
And this is little Meadow. Well, little. She's quite big, actually.
She was little when we first got her.
How old was she when you first got her?
She was 6 weeks when we first got her, and we got her right at the start of December. So yeah, we've had her for about three months now, just over.
And you're training her up to be a guide dog?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So we got her for about a year, and then in about next November she'll go away and do the rest of her guide dog training.
It's a really lovely thing to do, but what is the reality? What's it like actually training a puppy?
It's been really good fun, to be honest. Meadow, unlike this morning, has been an absolute delight. And it's just really rewarding to see her learning all the new things, because sort of every couple of weeks we get given new tasks to do. So we've got to take her on a bus soon, she'll get to go on a train soon, she's got lots of different tricks to learn and things like that. So it's been really rewarding. It's quite hard work, and it can be quite time consuming, but it's really good fun and really rewarding.
How long left have you got with Meadow?
About 8 months, hopefully, but it will depend on how well she's doing and her progress and things like that. She's also been possibly identified as breeding stock, so that might change how long she's with us for as well. But yeah.
And when you have to give her up, it's you know what you signed up for, but
yeah, we know what we signed up for, but we don't think it'll make it any easier. We've already discussed it, and we're not looking forward to the day that she goes. So we're just going to make the most of our time with her, really, and hope that we know that when she does go, whatever she goes on to do, she's going to be helping someone else. So.
Rutland Radio.
Hi, my name's Lee Burrows, and I'm the branch manager at William Hercock in Oakham.
So I'm at William Hercock today for my next Leave It to Lydia challenge. I'm with Lee. Lee, tell me what I'm going to be doing.
Well, today, Lydia, we've recently had in a Johnson's paint mixing machine, and I'm going to give you a challenge of mixing a colour that I've chosen. It is straightforward. It's making sure that you do select the right programme, and also making sure you put the lid on before you shake it.
Don't want that. I don't want to be spending the afternoon clearing up the paint. So hopefully it'll all go okay. I'll press the right buttons, but Donna will be there to make sure it's going to be fine. So I've got to mix a Johnston's County Hayes 2.5 litre pot of paint, Cover Plus vinyl matte. Right then, let's get started. So I've got this machine in front of me. Right, I need to, first of all, search for it. County Hayes.
Select your paint type.
Base is L.
L for a light base.
And L for Lydia.
Base underneath.
So this is just white?
It is, it's the light base, yes, so it's a sort of shade of white, neutral. Once that's under, then you can click your dispense.
Right, here we go. Let's click on dispense. And the little droplets are just popping in. We've got a bit of blue in there, a bit of orange at the moment, chopping into the white. So if I pull down this handle, it will squish it down and squish the lid on. Ooh.
That sounds like you've got it.
There we go. I mean, you haven't had this paint machine long, so I don't want it flying out everywhere when we put it in the shaker. Off it goes, shaking away like a milkshake. So we've done the mixing. Time to find out whether the colour is actually the right colour. Fingers crossed it is. This County Hayes, it's sort of a lilac-y grey sort of colour, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yep.
Very light, very pretty. And let's have a look at the paint pot.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Okay, so I'm at William Hercock Builders. I've just done my challenge, mixing up some paint. So now I'm going to challenge Lee Burrows. I found some colours online that I have got no clue what type of colours these are. So I'm just wondering whether you can explain them and whether you know. I've got 3 here.
Okay,
are you feeling confident?
I'll have a go.
Okay, so the first one is Smarjadine. Smarjadine.
Smarjadine.
Sounds like a villain from the Smurfs or something.
Now you give me a clue then, Blue.
It's not.
No?
Smarjadine. Apparently it's a type of emerald green.
Oh, right.
Right, number 2. Ebonine. Ebonine.
Well, ebony is a shade of black, isn't it? So is it a shade of black?
It's not. It's the opposite. It's a type of ivory.
Right.
But you'd think ebony, you'd think they'd be similar. And then the last one, fallow. Fallow? F-A-L-U. Fallow.
Never heard of it. Not even a clue.
I'll give you a clue with this one. It used to be, it's usually put on barns and...
Brown.
Kind of, yeah. It's a deep, reddy, browny sort of colour.
I'll take that one.
Rutland Radio.
Hello, I'm Peter Atkinson and I'm one of the owners and directors of the Grain Store Brewery. We now recycle all our glass bottles waste from the bar. We recycle all our waste cardboard and plastics, and we've just gone on to biodegradable straws as well.
Now, do you know if you're the first pub in the area to do this?
I don't know, if I'm honest. I've been asking around. Some people have gone on to paper straws. But as far as I know, we're the only ones currently using biodegradable straws.
So they look the same. They look plastic, but they're green.
They are, yeah. Some genius decided to make them green, which is a sensible thing, I suppose. But they are essentially. They don't look any different at all.
And do you know how long it takes for them to break down?
It's 4 to 6 months. Having tried the paper ones, some people say they taste a little bit funny and they change the taste of your drink, so that's why we stayed with the biodegradable plastic ones.
And is there anything else that you're thinking in the future that the grain store's going to do to cut down on plastic?
Oh, we've got lots of little ideas, particularly with waste products in general, actually. So one of the big byproducts of brewing is carbon dioxide. So we're looking at ways of capturing that as well and being able to reuse that, because it's used quite commonly in dispensing of drinks. So if we can capture our own produce there and use it to dispense drinks, then great. So we're looking at that at the moment.
Do you have any advice for any other pubs or places that want to make sure that they're a lot more green?
Oh, just go ahead and do it. The biodegradable straws are virtually the same price as the ordinary ones. There's no real cost associated with it, and look at all the good you're going to be doing.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Jane Hollingsworth. If it needs doing, I do it.
And you're from Pheasant's Roost.
I'm from Pheasant's Roost. We run a B&B. We have a small shop that sells rare breed meat. I run a small dance school. We have a campsite. It's very difficult to explain what we do up there, but we do an awful lot. And we're actually up for the Countryside Alliance Rural Oscars Award, which is absolutely amazing. Somebody nominated us very kindly, saying what a lovely job that we did. And then other people had to put in nominations too. It wasn't a voting system. And a lot of people wrote in some lovely things saying how lovely we were, what we did, why we did it. And the support has been amazing.
So what sort of things did they look for then, the Country Alliance with their rural Oscars?
Well, if I knew that, I know I was going to be winning, but we're actually in the finals. We're in the Rural Enterprise Award, and there's only 5 of us in the area, and we're the only ones in Rutland to actually place. We were interviewed 2 weeks ago by a lovely man, and he came in and we showed him round and showed him some of the photographs. I think he was a little bit shocked at some of the things that we got up to, because we're not really normal. When we built our own house from scratch, that was a weekend job, so it took us 15 years to get it up. People who've driven by was going, oh my goodness me, it's up. And we get people coming back to the campsite, and just really to see how far we've got and what we've evolved and where we've gone from there. It's been an adventure. We love it. We absolutely love it, and we love the people.
So when did the finals take place?
Well, they're going to be done in the middle of March.
Is it a ceremony held somewhere? Or?
Oh, yes. Oh, now I really, really want to win this. We get to go to a reception at the House of Commons.
Really?
Yes. And I really want to go there because I don't go anywhere but Rutland. I'm a little bit backward. We stay, Rutland's lovely. It's rural, it's beautiful, and to go to London's very scary for little people like us. But to go to London to see the House of Commons, which I've always wanted to see, and basically have somebody hold our hands, I think that's going to be one of the most amazing experiences of our lives. I'm quite excited, and I'm going to be so disappointed if we don't win or come second.
Fingers crossed for you then.
Oh, thank you. I need it.
Rutland Radio.
Thank you, Rob. I'm at Catmouth Sports Centre today for the Sportathon with Sammy. So how's it all going, Sammy?
Yeah, it's going brilliant so far. We've done 3 hours, feeling the burn a little bit, but yeah, it's going really well.
You kicked off at 7:30 this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, we started off with dodgeball, then we did a game of walking football, so we had lots of participants from our walking football team, so they came along and helped with us, and now we're doing GX Fit at the minute.
Are you going to do every single activity?
Yeah, I'm aiming to do every single one for 24 hours, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be knackered.
No, we're already feeling it at the minute.
You've got a long way to go.
Long way, but yeah.
Oh, so you're raising money for Sport Relief?
Yeah, so participants have been giving us £10 or so for entry, which is brilliant, and that's all going towards the charity, so it's really great.
And anyone can come along today?
Yeah, bring family, friends, children, everyone's welcome. So we've got a 12-hour one for children as well, so all children's activities, so yeah, they're more than welcome to come along.
So any of the adults, if they want to come and do a bit of sport at 4 o'clock in the morning?
They're more than welcome to, please come along.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
It's belated World Book Day today because it got snowed off last week. We had all that awful snow and it wasn't fair to make all the children go to school in their costumes. So Oakham CV Primary School have decided to do it today. And I'm with a couple of the winners. So if I could just get your names.
Caitlin,
Howie,
Eva, Helena.
Now, you've all got fabulous costumes. This is the reason why you guys won Alice in Wonderland. Can you tell me a bit more about your costume?
I'm Alice in Wonderland and I'm stuck in a house.
It's amazing. You've even got little windows, little plastic windows, cardboard house, door, cracked roof with your head coming out. So why did you want to go as Alice?
Because it's my last year and I wanted something that would be fun for me and good.
And how long did it take you to make this house?
Several days.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing it though?
Yeah.
You've won a couple of times?
Yeah.
You're like the World Book Day champion then?
Yeah.
And also Howie, can you tell me about your costume?
So I'm Mad-Eye Moody, which is from the Harry Potter books, and he's one of my favourite characters.
And you've got this eye, it's creeping me out a bit actually. But it's so good. It's on your, you've got a band across your face.
Yeah.
With then the eye on it. So did you make that eye?
Yeah, we made that. I made that eye with my dad. He always helps me make the hard bits in the costume. And we cut a squash ball in half and then covered it in Tipp-Ex and put some blue Sharpie around the pupil. And then we stuck it onto a belt.
So you don't like keeping things simple, do you? You like going for the really difficult ones?
Yeah.
Right then, can you just remind me of your name, please?
I'm Eva.
Eva.
And I came as George because I really like the famous 5 books and I've got collection 1 and collection 2. I really like how she acts because she's like a boy and she's got a dog called Timmy and she's got these cousins and they help her find secret ways and secret passages and gold.
And finally, last but not least, can you just remind me of your name again?
Helena.
And you have come as one of the 3 little pigs like me. I'm a piggy today. So can you tell me about your costume?
Well, I made it at my house and I made the nose and the ears and I put a checker shirt on.
Rutland Radio.
This week we found out the sad news that Professor Stephen Hawking had sadly passed away. But we also found out that a local man named Lee Harrison was actually lucky enough to attend a talk by the one and only Stephen Hawking. So Lee, how was it?
We got the kids out of school, we went down there and it was at the Royal Institute, which is this amazing building in Mayfair. And you go in and there's everybody to do with science standing there and and his daughter was standing right next to me, and I thought, I know you, you're Lucy Hawking. Well, half of it went over my head, and about 1% of it went over my son's head. He was sitting there whispering in my ear, okay, this is Hawking's radiation theory or something like that. And he explained to me that things can escape from black holes. But it was absolutely incredible to watch him on stage, because I think every time you see him on TV, you get this highly edited version that I was really not expecting. And obviously you're sitting watching one of the most famous people in the world, and he's not really doing anything, obviously. He's delivering, but he's got like a team of nurses attending to him. And the machine that we hear him speak through, it breaks down all the time. It must have been like, probably 10 times in the first half and 10 times in the second half. They have to reset it, and sometimes it just starts from the beginning. It was one of the really weird things. There's 400 people in a room, all fixated on a guy who's one of the most famous scientists of all time, and it's like absolutely mesmerised by it. There was a real feeling of awe in the room.
Rutland Radio.
Technology, as far as emails and phones and so on, is quite a new thing for us, and we're scared of it to a degree. And, I know people think, oh, it's going to be an obvious email or whatever. It's not. These people are very sophisticated, and the stuff they send over looks right and it looks correct, and we get scared that something's going to happen and it's the bank or whatever. And you've got to try and understand that this is not Arthur Daly who's coming at you trying to flog you a new old car or something. It's sophisticated stuff, and you've got to be brave enough not to be rushed. They try and rush. No, we have to do this right away and blah, blah, blah. And you think, oh, no, put the phone down. Speak to your family. Phone the bank. Whatever. Don't just do things. Don't give them your PIN number, your password, move money around. You've got to steer clear of it all.
And Len, since the Strictly marathon, I suppose, really, for so many years, you seem as busy as you were then now in terms of shows.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is I can pick and choose. If I get offered things to do, and some I think are worthwhile, other things I think, I don't fancy that, and, I'd rather have a few days with my wife. So, I'm keeping busy. I'm not retired. People thought once I left Strictly that, that was the end of me and I was going to be down my allotment. But no, if things turn up, I will do them.
And it seems to have been left in very safe hands as well, with Shirley doing a wonderful job.
I thought Shirley did brilliantly well. It's difficult to take, and I'm not saying this because I was special, it's nothing to do with that. When you take over from someone who's done a thing for 12 years, you don't know how it's going to be, and people are bound to compare, but I thought she was her own person, she gave constructive criticism, and I thought she did a terrific job, wonderful job.
Yeah, me too, and when you were on it as well, my favourite Saturday night TV show, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, it was terrific. I enjoyed it so much.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.